Yes, sir. And we are live. Welcome to Sports Talk with Najee and Grant. Man, this is our first episode for our segment. Blessed and thankful to be here. Excited to dive into sports. We're both very passionate about sports. How you feeling, Najee?
Blessed and highly favored, just like you said. I feel great. I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the NBA right now with playoffs. You got the NHL going in playoffs right now. Baseball just started up about a month ago. So there's a lot of stuff going on, honestly. And I'm just excited that I'm still on the planet to see it. Still watch LeBron.
Amen to that.
Man.
Yeah, so today, we specifically wanted to dive into, the NBA playoffs. It's big. There's games on every day. There's so much at stake. And mainly want to talk about legacy because legacy is really tied with the NBA playoffs. You really think about some of the big defining playoff runs. I think about Giannis 2021 with the Suns. They were down 0-2, won 4 straight, which was absolutely crazy. I know Phoenix Suns fans are still mad about that to this day.
Man, they just never do it, man. I'm telling you.
Right. You think about Kawhi Leonard, in 2019 against the Golden State Warriors, the super team, basically probably the last super team that we've seen in a while with 3, stars on the team. The playoffs are everything pretty much in the NBA. You could have a great regular season, but if you don't perform in the playoffs, you're not going to reach to that hierarchy that you want to reach to. Are there any playoff defining runs, Najee, that come to mind to you?
The biggest one will always be for me, LeBron coming back from 3-1. No one's ever done that. People have doubted LeBron ever since he came into the league. The guy is insane. He's 40-something years old, and he's still dropping 25 plus. I don't know who the Michael Jordan, LeBron talk. That there is no conversation. To me, there's no conversation. Michael Jordan ain't doing this at 40.
No, he's not.
He's doing this at 40. So for me, it's that 3-1 comeback. Also, the even the Dallas Mavericks, like we've had before, when they came and beat the Heat. That team was unreal. That team was unbelievable. Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, LeBron James. Every single person, you were like, man, this is a super team. And Dirk literally did it, I want to say, on his own. So that, to me, was a huge shift when it comes to the playoffs and, defining the player. Kevin Durant, he's not there, bro. To be honest with me, he's not there. He has to hop on teams to do it. I know LeBron, when he left Cleveland, they kind of felt like a little bit disrespected when he left, but he came back and got the championship, right? So there's levels to this stuff. And then Kevin Durant, I love you as a player, but he's just not at that level. He's not in the top. To me, he's not in the top 10. He's not in the top 10 for me.
No, he's not. And like you said, like LeBron, though, like, of course, when he joined those teams, it was a super team. But at the same time, it's like if he wasn't on those teams, they wouldn't have won. You know what I'm saying? Like with Kevin Durant, right? Like the Warriors, they won without him. They won twice without him. You know what I'm saying? So like Kevin Durant, he still has some work to do. He still has to lead a team to a championship. You see the Rockets, they're winning without him.
Yeah. And so you're starting to think, is he a problem in this lineup? You want to say no because of the just the capabilities that he can do.
Yeah.
Knockdown shooter, somewhat a decent defender. He's not bad at all. But it's getting over that hump of doing it on his own, and it just kind of gets the leadership. Absolutely, it kind of gives you a knock on the. Just the career that he's had. So to me, I want to give him his flowers. I do, but he's just not there yet. He's not.
No, he's not. But he still has time. You know what I'm saying? If he wins it with the Rockets next year, he's got like 2 years. He's got like 2 more years.
Man.
But it's gonna take a lot in the West.
Yeah, in the West for sure.
It's gonna take a lot in the West.
Yeah. It's going to be very hard. As you see, OKC is, they're looking like a dynasty that could be even better than the Warriors, back in 2016 and all those years. Yeah. So to me, with Shea being a lockdown anytime, gets the foul whenever you know, whenever you need it. To me, the Thunder is you got to keep your eye out on the Thunder.
Right, no doubt. So thinking about legacy and pressure and who has the most to gain, who has the most to lose, who do you think is under the most pressure players wise? There's obviously you could think about Brunson and the Knicks. You could think about Joel Embiid. There's a lot of players, but who would you really dial down as like who's up there with who has the most pressure? You would say.
To me, I believe the most pressure. I can't even say Jalen Brunson. Knicks. I can't say it yet. They do have a good squad. I'm a big Knicks fan, so me and my family, we watch the games all the time. Go to the games sometimes when they come to Phoenix. And yes, Brunson, I feel like Brunson's on that. He is a star, but I can see him being an even bigger star, to stardom.
Right.
So when it comes to, he just needs the right tools around him. And I don't believe Cat is that either. To me, I don't believe Cat's that. We've had multiple conversations where we're talking about they need to, really go get Giannis, kind of see what they can get for Cat. They do have a solid bench. They have like Kolick. They have Bride. They have
McBride.
McBride. They have decent guys. So to me, it's not like they can really lose anything because to me they're on the upcline. To me, upcline. So the biggest one I would say, I love Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards to me is a performer. This guy is downright I would say top 5 players in the league right now. His explosiveness, his shot, being able to create space in the shot, it's 1 to none. You know what I'm saying? So to me, but with him going down, he's week to week right now. So we're still trying to see what the Minnesota can do without him. But to me, it might be the Nuggets. It might be that Nuggets team because at one point they were easily the best team in the league. Jokic was undoubtable the best player in the league. And so when it comes to kind of those defining moments of is this team up there, not with with the Bulls and the Warriors, but at that totem pole, I don't know. I think they have the most to lose.
Yeah, I think as far as players go, I am looking at Joel Embiid. He has all the talent in the world. When he's healthy, you can make an argument that he's better than Jokic just because he's able to defend better. He can block shots. He's more athletic. He can create his own shot. He's got handle. He can hit the three. Like, this dude is unreal. I mean, they called it the process for a reason back when it was him and Ben Simmons. And, obviously it didn't work out. But, them two, if you looked at their potential, they could be, one of the greatest duos ever. And, with Joel Embiid, it's just injury after injury after injury every year. And now he's in the playoffs and, he's somewhat healthy. He's never fully healthy.
Never fully. But, not moving like that.
No, never. But he has a chance, especially with the team who he has now. Tyrese Maxey is amazing, right? Tyrese Maxey is amazing. Also Paul George is amazing as well. So he has the team to where they could make a run in the East. Yeah. So I would definitely look at Philadelphia and, Joel Embiid as far as, he has a lot of pressure. And because
I see like they got to make a move soon. They do. With Philly, they got Maxey. They just have Edgecombe, right?
Yeah.
They kind of, if Embiid doesn't really start getting really healthy here pretty soon, I mean, they're got to start shipping him off. They're gonna have to start looking elsewhere. I just don't know what his longevity can look like at this moment.
It's tough, man.
Yeah,
it's tough because he makes a lot of money. He makes almost $200 million a year. So you're gonna have to figure out how to match salaries or figure out a big time deal. But teams are like, why would we trade for him when he's hurt every single year? At the most critical times.
But just like you say, it's about the potential.
That is true.
That's why these guys get paid. You see it. with anything. With guys could be a 6'8", cannot play the game, have never played the game.
Yeah.
And they're getting D1 scholarships. So it's always been about the potential, what they can be. And that's why these guys get paid. So I can see it, you know, I don't want to say they're missing a piece because I don't think they are. I think Embiid just needs to stay healthy. Yeah. And everyone else, I mean, Paul George, I can't believe Paul George is still playing.
Yeah. He's still cold too when he's healthy.
When he's healthy, his man's out there, you know, one of the best out there. So to me, I don't know if it's the coaching or if it's Embiid just, you know, staying healthy, but to me, I believe it's Embiid.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the game the other day, and Embiid totally just dominated against the Celtics. Like, there was nothing they could do. Like, that's how dominant he is. He, you know, when he's healthy, he's like you could make an argument he's a top 2 player in the league. So it's like, when you have that player, you really need like an MVP candidate, you know, type of player to win a championship, you know, an MVP caliber player. That is Embiid.
Well, who are you thinking of then?
What, MVP caliber?
Yeah, that needs to go over to Philly or, you know.
No. I'm saying Embiid, when he's healthy, you know, he could put up the stats as an MVP type of player. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they have that there, you know? So it's like, really, they have Maxey. He's an all-star caliber player. You have that alongside Joel Embiid. And then you have Paul George, who he can still 20 plus on any given night when he's healthy. He can still shoot. He can still create. He's 6'9". Like, as far as the top 3 on that team, they're set. It's just about, like you said, coaching, them staying healthy. They have the role players there. So in the East, it's like, it's kind of wide open-ish. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not.
East is soft compared to the West. And it's been like that, I feel, for a while, you know, ever since LeBron left. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
It's always been a lock. You know, if LeBron's in the East, it's a lock that he's going to the finals. He's going to the finals no matter what. So the West really needs – I mean, not the West, but the East really need to pick it up when it comes to, you know, even competing with the West. Because it's not even close at this moment right now.
No. I mean, if you think about the West, I mean, you have the Thunder, you have the Spurs – the Nuggets, the Wolves, the Lakers, the Rockets, even the Warriors. Like, when Steph Curry wasn't healthy this time, but when Steph Curry is healthy, you know, he could win. He could win against anybody.
That's 30 plus. Easy.
Yeah, that's 30 plus. Like
8 threes. You know, it's the guy's ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie. That I'm starting to see too. I'm not saying he's on a decline, but I feel like he might not be here for too much longer in the NBA. Yeah. So that new wave of, you know, the NBA is, you know, Paolo and, you know, Cunningham, you know, these guys you're starting to see like, okay, they can be the new wave, the new NBA. So I am excited for that transition too. You know, it's going to be sad when Bron and, you know, Steph Curry leaves, but, you know, it is what it is. You know, you got to respect the, you know, their greatness and everything. So Steph is definitely top 5, top 10.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna transition into next, like about the young players. You know, the young prodigies who are all coming up. You mentioned a few, Paolo, Cade, you know, Ant Edwards. He's always gonna be there. Once Tyrese Halliburton gets back, I know he's hurt. He was nursing an injury. He's still a really good player. I know you're mad. that Knicks run. That run was crazy.
I can't stand Tyrese. Those horrible step backs, dude. Those to this day. It just reminds me of, like, I'm a big Kemba Walker fan. It's like when Kemba Walker's dropping all these guys in the, you know, in the March Madness. So that's what that brought me to. I was like, man, this dude's just throwing things up and it's just going in. I don't know who he's talked to, but that made me so mad. That was horrible last year.
And then you look at his numbers, like he'd be putting up 10 plus assists, you know what I'm saying? Like 20 plus hitting threes.
Yeah, 20 10s all the time.
Yeah, easy.
Oh, man, it's honestly impressive. It is impressive because I didn't see what they saw. Like, right.
Yeah.
I didn't see what the Pacers saw. I was like, this guy is not efficient to me. He's just a passer. He doesn't really have a shot on him.
Not crazy athletic.
No, at all. It kind of almost has his own flow. His own, like a Luka, you know, it's his own game that he's, you know, kind of perfected. So you got to give him respect for that. But man, that shot is ugly as can be. That's the worst shot I've seen in the league so far.
So what young stars are you looking at in the playoffs? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's Cade, Jalen Johnson. We didn't mention him on the Hawks, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously Ant-Man's hurt, but like what young players are you are you looking at in the playoffs if you had to pick one?
To pick just one,
Yeah,
I'm really high on Maxey.
Maxey.
I'm really, really high on Maxey. He's really come along this season. I mean, he's putting up 25 points per game, 20 to 30 just in these playoffs alone. He's really stepped into his role to me. He's really stepped in. He's like, okay, I need to take over. If Embiid is not here, I gotta go crazy. I gotta, points, get these players, the ball when they need it. But they can always count on him to, make that big basket if they really truly need it.
Right. Yeah. For me, I'm looking at Jalen Johnson, man. Like Jalen Johnson, like he's 6'10", athletic. Like when he's hitting his perimeter shot, like it's over. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because you have, like, if he's hitting that, it's like, how do you really guard him? Yeah, like
anything. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking at Jalen Johnson, and then I'm also looking at Paolo as well. I think that if they can somehow get out of this series, I know it's going to be tough, but he's the best player on the team. He's got all-star potential down the line, I would say.
Easily all-star potential. Yeah. Even the game last night that we were watching, this guy was taking over. He was like, give me the ball. And that's what you want on the team. Because you feel like, I don't want to say they've been missing that because they have some stars on the team. Bane, they have, oh man, who is the other one? There's Franz.
Franz, yes.
Franz,
Yeah.
The German. So I love watching them play. And it just feels like they're a young team,
Yeah.
They're just young. But I mean, what they're doing to Detroit is insane. Detroit came in as the number 1 seed, and they really kind of showing that they can compete. And they might just need, I don't want to say 1 or 2 players, but they just might need a year or 2, and they're going to be one of the best in the league.
For sure.
Yeah.
Cade is he's coming along well. He was injured, but he's coming along well. We've seen the potential in high school, college, him coming up, 6'7", combo guard, can create, can pass, can do everything. And
you're starting to see that like all over. It's almost like the NBA. I mean, I remember when the NBA was like you had to be like 6'3", to kind of, get that point guard spot. Man, you're seeing point guards now. Victor Wembanyama. I mean, come on. This guy's bringing up the ball, and he's 7-something.
Bro, there's sometimes even Jokic is bringing up the ball, and he's 7 feet. You know what I'm saying? And he's creating, he's passing, he's doing all this. So the NBA definitely has changed. You see a lot of these bigger guards who are definitely dominating. You do need size to really shine in a lot of cases. It's tough. There is a small guard though on the Bulls. I'm not sure if you know him. He's this Asian guy, but he's about 5'9".
I seen him. Yes.
He's actually kind of nice, and I was like, whoa, he's actually doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? You have to be like flashy like that, like Steve Nash type of flashy to even
to even get on the court. You see like the guy that dunks the ball all the time. What's his name?
On what squad is he? Oh, G League.
Yeah, he always dunks the ball.
Is it Taco Fall?
Nah, but Taco was a demon. I miss Taco.
Fall was a demon.
What's it called? His name is it's the white boy. He'd be winning all the dunk contests.
Oh, Mac McClung.
Guy's legit. The guy can play the game. I mean, he's dropping somewhere like 30, 40 points a game sometimes in the G League, but it's that size to me.
Yeah.
If he was 6'5", I mean, this guy would be a superstar. So it's just really crazy what the league has come to. You're starting to see a lot more 6'9", 6'10", 7-footers in the league. And I mean, at some point, I want to say in probably 10, 20 years, we're going to be looking at a full team that is 7 foot tall and, can bring up the ball, do what Wembanyama's doing.
The Houston Rockets right now, or at the beginning of the year, they had a lineup that they started that was like 6'10" and taller. You know what I'm saying? They had Kevin Durant, they had Amin Thompson, they had Jabari Smith, they had Steven Adams. I know you remember Steven Adams. Aquaman.
Absolutely. That's crazy. They're still in the league.
Yeah. And they could use him right now too. He's hurt. They could definitely use him right now. But like that's kind of like the meta. You know what I'm saying? If you have those big lineups, the interchangeable players, like you're gonna have a good chance to win. But now, I really want to dive into like, the specific teams. We talked about the players, the legacy things about the players and stuff like that. But for teams, like, what are you looking at? Like, do you think who has the most to really gain as far as teams go? Like, there's a lot of teams that have a lot of pressure on them, and some other teams, it's like, like even though the Spurs, they're great, right? If they don't win it this year, they're going to have so many more chances down the line to where it's like, we got a young core.
Castle's on the team. Castle, he's no joke.
Yeah, Vassell.
I'm telling you, they breed absolute superstars over there at UConn. So shout out to Hurley. Love you. I'm glad you didn't go to the Lakers. But to me, the biggest one that I believe needs this championship as well is there's two teams. Yeah. I'm going to go for the one that probably needs it the most. And I believe that's the Celtics. I believe Jaylen Brown, Tatum, they got a great core. They can really show that they can be dominant in the league. If one's hurt, one's dropping 40. It's either or. So they have a great core. But to me, if they want to be upwards in the Warriors and the Heat, Miami Heat back in the day, they're gonna need to win this one. They're gonna have to. There's just a lot riding on it. They're only so young for so long. Because to me, the Celtics were like kind of like the I don't want to say the Thunder because they're not close. The Thunder, they're not close. But just some team that they need to win this just so that they can be one of the teams that they were like, okay, these guys ran the league for 3 to 4 years. And has a decent dynasty.
Yeah.
What about you? Thank you.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Knicks, man. Like,
man. Aren't we all, man?
I'm looking at the Knicks, man, because they've had multiple years of good, good season, good record, progressed in the playoffs. They have good players in the East, right? It's in the East. So it's like in the East, it's not as tough as the West. So you should be progressing farther if you have the talent in the East. And, they got a new coach. Obviously, they fired their last coach. They got Mike Brown now. Yeah. And a lot of people are criticizing him, saying that the team is softer now. They're saying the team is a lot softer than they were with the last coach. They're saying that.
Well, I mean, Thibodeau be running these dudes to the dirt. We see it with Derrick Rose. That guy.
Yeah, he did cause that, unfortunately.
Thibodeau, man, you ruined that man's career for real. But hey, D-Rose, we still love you. I'm telling you right now, still one of the greatest out there. Back in Chicago, I'll tell you what, you were the most dominant player. Yeah. The most dominant player in the league at the time. You're up there with LeBron, and that says something. It's back and forth. Bro, yeah. If you're anywhere close to LeBron's status, it's D-Rose.
Yeah.
At that time, it was D-Rose.
Yeah. It's the Knicks, it's, you have a Karl Anthony Towns who you traded for, and you thought, okay, this dude, he has talent. If he really had that killer instinct and he played more inside and, he really asserted himself, Cat could be a top 15 player in the league if he asserts himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's good enough to be that second guy.
Yeah.
I believe, in the East to get to a potential finals. So it's like, and then you give up 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges.
Yeah.
Who gives you 0 points in a playoff game. Is crazy. It's mind-blowing. On the Suns, he was hitting so many shots. He was more efficient on the Suns, a better defender. Like, they have a lot at stake to where if they don't win it, or even get to the finals, there's going to be trades. There might be some firings. You're hearing Giannis, So
I just can't see them making it to the finals. I want to have wishful thinking, but I just can't see them making it to the finals. You ain't lying, man. I can't stand 0 points in the playoffs, bro. And we paid the man all this money, 5 first-round picks. It's just it can't happen. It just can't happen. Yes, you can have one bad game, but it feels like he's just on a steady decline ever since it's been the end of the season. So it just feels like, I don't want to say he's just out there, but I mean, too, it could be, Brunson's trying to do more than what he needs to do. It's starting to see like, well, if I'm gonna get the last shot, but like he could pass it off to someone that's wide open. You know, but he feels I got to do it. I have to do it. And I'm not sure. Yes, that is kind of Brunson's game, but also not. You know, he's supposed to
be sometimes too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not a fan of Brown. I haven't been a fan of Brown for the longest.
No. I mean,
it was just
he was on the Kings. He was the Kings head coach before the Knicks, and they did have decent talent, you know, in Sacramento. I mean, De'Aaron Fox is not a scrub. You know what I mean? He's not a scrub. Zach LaVine, he could drop. I've seen him drop 50 on any given night in the NBA. Like, he's not a scrub either. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's had decent enough talent to win games, and he never delivered with those teams.
No. So. And then to me, I'm always just like, I like how Cat plays, right? I think it's okay how he plays, but I almost am like, well, yes, Giannis would be better for the system. To me, the system would be better. But like, I could even see like AD being on the Knicks and doing something being more proactive, more beneficial for this team rather than Cat. You know,
I agree.
I don't know. To me, that's almost kind of his comparison is AD and Cat. Like, if AD's healthy, would I really, would I want Cat? Could I get a discount? Yeah, could I get a discount a little bit for, AD? But, AD's on the Wizards now, so we'll see.
I mean, they're making reports that they might trade him again. Like, I'm hearing that they might trade him again. So it's like the Knicks maybe could get on that. I would. Yeah.
Honestly, I wouldn't, because if you can get value because you need to get those 5 first-round picks back.
Yeah.
And if you got to go get a discounted player that will fit the system, then 100% go do it.
Right.
Well, you got to really get value for Cat. You need to get value for Cat. So you kind of really want him to go kind of crazy this season, and then kind of see, because to me, I don't see them winning the ship. No. I don't see them winning it. So I'm always just like, okay, let's try to figure out what we need in this system if we're going to keep Brown, if we're going to, keep most of these players. I don't know. We really got to see what they do this playoff run. I mean, they're up 3-2 right now, but it's been kind of sketchy the whole way. So we got to really see.
I'm also looking at 2 other teams. I know some people are high on the Lakers. Some people are not high on the Lakers. This might be LeBron's last year, for all we know. You know what I mean? And it's like,
that was my number 2 that I was going to talk about.
The Lakers. Yeah, he might have one more year at the most, and you're thinking he could go back to Cleveland.
I wouldn't mind seeing that either.
That would be amazing. By the way,
Donovan Mitchell. If that actually happened, I mean, I could see them, do it. Anytime LeBron's back in the East, it's the whole league is shaking up.
Yeah, it's money. I mean, him, Harden, Donovan Mitchell, Mobley, all those guys there, they would for sure be the 1 or 2 team in the East. Like, easily. No doubt. Yeah, easily. But yeah, like, they have to have a good playoff run. Like, if they don't, they have to beat the Rockets right now. No Kevin Durant. You're up 3-2. You went up 3-0. If you lose this series, you'll be the first team ever to lose a 3-0 deficit in the playoffs.
Ever, yeah.
Which that's terrible. And the LeBron haters are going to be on that all day long.
Yeah. It can't, and it honestly just can't happen.
No.
But when LeBron sees the spotlight, he's there. He shows up. Yeah. So that's a person you can always count on. You know, I count on this man to get 20 plus a game, and he's 40 something years old. Like I said before, I don't know who's doing that. I'm 28 and I'm struggling to get out of bed. Like, this guy's 40 and he's dunking on people, facilitating the ball. I mean,
yeah, he's different.
It's almost like he's 20 something still. There's just a little bit less bounce, but he's still dunking on everything.
And then also you have Austin Reeves. He's on a contract year, so he's looking to get paid. They have decisions to make in the offseason. Luka's going to be there for sure, but they don't know about Austin Reeves. They don't know about Rui and some other guys. So the Lakers, they need to have a pretty good postseason run so that, for one, they can keep LeBron, obviously keep Luka, and then, fill out some other role players and stuff like that. So the Lakers, and then I know the Oklahoma City Thunder are really great, but they're on the tier of trying to be a dynasty. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to be a dynasty. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, there's already talks there. He's in rare air. I mean, he's won an MVP and a Finals MVP in the same year. The only other players really to do that is LeBron, MJ. You know what I'm saying? And Shaq. You know what I'm saying?
He's on a different tier for sure.
Yes, he's on a different tier. And if he doesn't do it this year, if he doesn't go back to back, that a lot of that gets erased because LeBron's went back to back.
I don't know. To me, it's just like Shai is that player that I know he'll be back the next year. You know, he's that player I know will be back the following year. Yeah. So to me, I don't know if he needs the back-to-back to solidify the legacy.
Yeah.
But I can see.
Because here's the thing. People are already comparing him to Jordan right now. And for me, I think that's a little premature. I think it's a little too early. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think those talks are done until he does a back-to-back. That's what I mean. You know what I'm saying? Like, comparing him to MJ right now, it's like, he needs a lot more. But I will say this, if he does go back-to-back, he gets Finals MVP, he could get the MVP again this year, the regular season MVP. If he gets all of that, we're definitely gonna have to start having tough conversations. Obviously, he's not better than Jordan and stuff like that, but we're gonna have to start putting him in rare air. You know what I'm saying? As far as accolades go, all time, because he's great. I mean, he's averaging 30 plus every year. You know, he's leading the league in free throws. He's just dominating. You know, and he's playing defense.
Yeah,
he's playing defense.
That's hard to find these days. Defense. It's really hard,
especially a guard too.
Yeah,
you know, especially a guard.
Used to do it. They're just like, shoot, let me get my buckets up. That's all I need to worry about, and that's what it is. But I remember I heard you saying something about Austin Reeves. Yeah. To me, the Lakers need to keep him. They have to keep him.
So?
Yes, I think they have to keep him. I think he made it clear that he is a core part of this group and can really, compete with the best of them. Yeah. So to me, I mean, Austin Reeves alone, Luka. Yeah. I mean, they got to try to keep Bron for one more. If
one more.
Going to play. But they got to get one more player for sure, because as you can see, these guys are kind of injury prone, and it's just
DeAndre Ayton is one night he looks amazing, the next night he's just, where are you at?
Yeah, we need some consistency out of Ayton. With him not being fully there, sometimes he feels like he's Clint Capella. I heard him say in one of the interviews. To be honest, I've seen Clint Capella do a little bit better. At some instances, I've seen him do better. So it's like it's not a knock, that you're getting compared to Clint Capella. But you got to find DeAndre Ayton. Got to understand, we got to find his game. I don't know what he wants to play fast one game, then he wants to play slow. He got to be consistent. He needs, if they're gonna want to go and be an absolute unit in this league, they have to really. He needs to get it together and figure out what do I need to do to make this team better. Because it's not the Suns when he was on the Suns where he was a main player on the team.
Right.
He's not that player anymore. But you can still be productive.
Yeah, I mean, he's the X factor. You have your top three players, LeBron, Reeves, Luka. If DeAndre Ayton gives you 20 and 10, you're going to be hard to beat on a lot of nights. And he can do that. That's the thing. He has that ability. He's a number one pick. He's 7'2". He has the ability to do that. It's just, motor. It's unfortunate. It's motor. We say the same thing with Anthony Davis sometimes, motor. Some nights he looks like number one in the league, and some nights he looks like he's just pedestrian out there.
And you always see that too in the beginning of the season. You're like, oh man, AD's about to be a monster this year, and then he goes and tears something or his back, and he's out for 3 weeks, and then it's something bigger than what it actually was or what it is, and then he's out for 4 months, and
it's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of teams under pressure. There's a lot of players under pressure. This is going to be a really good NBA playoffs for sure. We'll keep watching it. A lot of the series are like 3-2 or 2-3. You know what I'm saying? Except the only, obviously, Oklahoma City, they cleared out the Suns easily because they're just that dominant.
Yeah, the Suns just had no chance.
Yeah,
No shot at all.
Not at all. But next, you know, I really want to delve into like the media because you know the media has a really big impact on the pressure applied to players. And really, I really want to dive into like the ring culture because the media talks about, well, if this team doesn't win the ring or if this player doesn't win the ring, you know, we can't put him in the top 5. We can't put him in the top 10. You know, that's what they criticize LeBron for with MJ. You know, they say MJ has 6 rings, LeBron has 4. So it's like, and they don't even count LeBron's COVID ring. They say that's a Mickey Mouse ring, which is
man. You still got to go out there and make the buckets, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what are
that's we doing? You should have won the. He should have won the ring.
Yeah, yeah. So, how do you feel about that? Because you know they talk about even fans as well. It's the fans and the media. I would say, you know, they're all like, okay, if this player didn't win this ring this time, you know, we can't even put him up there. You know what I mean? Do you think it's too much sometimes?
I do. I mean. Just based off of, we always bring up LeBron.
Yeah.
LeBron. Just because this guy has 4 doesn't mean he's not up there with Jordan. At all. It doesn't. No. At all. Just alone, the man can't do it by himself, but we've seen him do it by himself, literally.
Yeah.
Point blank.
Yeah.
I don't know any other player that does what LeBron does. This man can make a player great, and there's not too many people that can do that. He can make bums off the bench great players, giving them the ball, you know, facilitating the ball to them, making sure that, hey, they're getting their shots so they feel comfortable. So when it comes down later in the line, later down the season, when they need that big shot, and then LeBron is, because they're going to be, you know, 3v1 trying to go up, and then LeBron just passes it out to them, and then they're ready for that shot. You know, it's not just at the, you know, the beginning of the season. He's putting them in the right places just so that when it comes to the end of the season during playoff time, they're ready for that opportunity. And that's just the player he is. You know, to me, there is no one better than LeBron. I can see in probably 10 years, if Victor Wembanyama stays healthy, this guy will be the best player on the planet. He will be. I didn't think we would see anyone like Victor in, you know, 20, 30 plus years because, you know, but the game's moving fast. The game's moving unbelievably fast. So it's just really hard for me. He got to stay healthy too. That's going to be hard for him because he's so tall. But we've seen what Victor can do. So to me, I want to see LeBron win that one more, but to me, it solidifies nothing for me. He's already the number 1.
Yeah, I think, you know, as far as like a player's career goes, like, you know, there's a point where like you've done so much that it's like, you know, if he loses this series, you know, we're not going to take away his top 10 status because he's done so much. He's so great. You know, there's a point where you're cemented in history as one of the greatest. And I think that, you know, these media outlets, they try to like keep tearing away, nitpicking, especially LeBron, because he draws in all the engagement. He brings in all the news. LeBron is one of the most polarizing athletes ever. So, you know, they're going to keep nitpicking and looking at ways to tear this man down. And it's not just him. I mean, you know, they do the same thing with Steph Curry. Like so many years, they're all like, oh, well, it was Kevin Durant who helped you win those rings. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
if anything, that was Steph's team.
It was Steph's team, man. Like,
no. But for Kevin Durant, he needs to win something without help or, you know, to be that main guy. Because we seen him when he was on the Thunder. Serge, Russell, Harden, they had a squad. And they just couldn't pull through.
Yeah, and you know, and if you want to go off rings, we can go back to Bill Russell. You know what I'm saying? He had 11 rings, but like that era, it was just like, you know, no one was beating him and all the guys who was on
Bill
the team.
Russell was facing plumbers.
Yes, let's be real.
Facing bums. Like,
let's be real.
LeBron James. Bro, Anthony Edwards in that timeline.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's getting 9 rings. Right.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? LeBron, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think he would even lose. Honestly, you might not even lose a game.
No.
Playoffs.
Yeah.
So to me, that Bill Russell stuff, yes, Bill Russell got what, 11?
Yeah, 11 rings, bro.
But to me, it's not worth anything because the level of talent is just not what it is today. When we might say that now, in 20, 30 years, when you start seeing dudes, you're seeing little kids literally doing sham god stuff. Like they're doing the most, the finger rolls, all that stuff. And guys weren't even doing that until like late 2000s.
Right.
You see these kids that are literally 6, 7 years old, and they're doing stuff between their legs and, putting up layups. It's insane.
Yeah.
So we might be seeing that in the next 20 years, but right now, LeBron would have had at least 20 rings.
Right. And I also make the argument that like all rings aren't created equal. You know what I'm saying? Like some rings hold more weight than others. Like the Steph Curry ring, in 2015 against LeBron when Kyrie was hurt, it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you won it, but it's like those players were injured. So it's, but like you're still a champion.
He always had demons on his team. I mean, Klay Thompson's a top 3-point shooter. Like he might almost be better. I don't want to say better than Ray Allen, but he's close up there.
Yeah, you can make an argument.
That he is better than Ray Allen. Right. Then you got Draymond. I can't stand Draymond, but I can't deny that this man plays defense. When in his prime, one of the best defenders in the league, in the game.
Right.
Steph, to me, he's shown that he is legitimate. He's shown that he can do it without these players as well. So that's why I really am high on Steph Curry.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and like even I think about with Kawhi Leonard, like when he won the rings in San Antonio, it was kind of like you were kind of just like the role player defender type of guy who, you weren't the star player. Obviously, you helped guard. He's a really good defender. He guarded LeBron well. But it's like when he went to Toronto and he was the main guy and he won that ring, that held a lot more weight. And that's when people were like, okay, he's a 3-time champion. He's one of the best. He is one of the best players ever. You've
seen it in the All-Star game. Now this guy can take over. This guy is no joke. But they need better players over there.
Yeah. I mean, they're probably not going to win any rings for a while, honestly. No.
And then Kawhi to me is just so nonchalant about everything. He's just like going with the flow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I don't know if he's even worried about a legacy for him.
No, he's not.
Go get another ring or 2 more rings or whatever. Yeah, I feel like that'd be nice for him. Like that would be really, really good. But to me, he's just like, it's okay, whatever. I'm on whatever team and I'm gonna ball out. So I do like that aspect of him. But he got to stay healthy as well.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. But yeah, I think that, this ring argument, like you have to take in like the situation around the ring. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to take it. It's in the account when you're judging a player's legacy, right? Obviously rings are incorporated in it, but rings aren't everything. Like people make it seem like rings are everything. And it's not the case. One of your star players might be hurt. It's a team game. You might be hurt. The star player might be hurt. The other team might have a super team. And you're the only player that year, you're all-star point guard left. Like, I think really we just, as sports fans, I think in general, not just in the NBA, but in all sports, like we really need to look at rings as, it's more of a team accomplishment. Obviously it adds on to your legacy, but like, it's not everything, you're not in tennis, it's not 1v1, so
100%. But the only player you ever seen do it 1v1 is the GOAT, LeBron.
Yeah.
Lay GOAT. Literally. Lay GOAT.
Yeah. But I also wanted to talk about like the super teams, right? So it's crazy how you see the Thunder, right? The Thunder are dominating, but they don't necessarily have a super team, versus back in the day, right? Super teams were dominating. I mean, people try to act like the MJ's Bulls was not a super team. That team was stacked, loaded. You know what I'm saying? Like Pippen and Maxon and Rodman. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these teams that won were super teams. You can even make an argument that, I mean, even Shaq and Kobe, that team was just stacked.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like now, you see like teams are just building depth. They're building around role players who are just really good at their jobs, defend, can shoot. And then obviously you need a star player. But for the most part, there's a transition. How do you feel about that transition?
I don't know, but to me, when I think about the first super team, right?
Yeah.
Which one comes to mind for you? Because I only got one.
What, Miami Heat?
No, before then. LeBron had to leave Cleveland to compete.
The Celtics. Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
When Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and Kevin Garnett were on the court, you were like, okay, there's no way they can stop them. No one can stop these guys. So when LeBron left to go to the Heat, I feel like that kind of started the whole, that change in the league was just like, okay, how many guys can we get that are somewhat superstars, and then it's just going to work out? Because that's how they kind of felt like that was
Boston,
the case.
Yeah, we said in the comments, Boston.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. What are you thinking? What do you think?
I think that if GMs and teams were smart, I think that tying your money, because super teams usually you have most of your money tied up in 3 players, because a lot of these star players are going to require a lot of money, right? Yeah. So it's like when you have all that money tied into those players, you're not really able to effectively build out the rest of your roster the right way with the type of players. Like for the most part, you're going to have to build your roster out with like minimum guys who are like, they're going to get paid like $1 million a year, you know, and a lot of the good role players like the Aaron Gordons of the worlds, they're going to require like at least 20, 30, 20 million a year. Yeah. So for me, I'm thinking obviously salary wise and players wise, like if you just build, you can look at the Oklahoma City Thunder, like they have one MVP candidate who's dominant, unstoppable. And then you have a bunch of role players who can defend, shoot, who do their jobs, who are stout, who execute, and they're dominating the league. So it's like, trading for that splash move, like that's what the Rockets try to do. Let's get Kevin Durant. Let's go get so-and-so, right? And it doesn't always work out because you need the chemistry, you need the right role players, and you want
Kevin Durant too. You can see it. He's not meshing well.
No, he's not.
That one guy, what is it, Sengun?
Sengun, yeah.
He's not meshing well with him. He doesn't like how he plays, and you've seen it multiple times during the season. Like he's throwing up his hands, or he's just turning his head down whenever this dude's talking to him, or something like that. He's taking the final shots when he feels like he needs to take the final shot. So there is a disconnect, and I would say that's part of the coaching, the management needing to make sure that this is going to work if they're going to be spending all this money. And I'm not spending money. I'm not spending money if it's not going to work. If the cohesion is not there, everything, like you got to really do more in your job. For management, they really got to see like, could this really work out? How is his attitude? Does he always have to be the number one? Is this possible that, he can even say so, come off the bench at some point sometimes, if that's the case? I don't know. So to me, management is a huge part of the NBA, and there needs to be more of actually knowing if they will actually fit in their system.
Yeah, I mean, management, GMs, all that stuff that really does come into play with a lot of these decisions. And
well, you see, Nico lucked out.
Oh man, Nico Harrison from the
getting Cooper, bro. That team was about to be the worst team for a long time. Long time. And you're in the West, it was about to be a long time. So thank Jesus Christ that they got the number 1 pick and got Cooper Flagg.
Dude, and they got very, very lucky. By the skin of their teeth, they got a star. Who Cooper Flagg's definitely going to be a top 5 player down the line for sure. But yeah, like you said, GMs really come into play. Like I just think that when you look at even the Spurs, like you have Wembanyama, right? He's an MVP caliber player. You can make an argument top 2, top 3 in the league. You know what I'm saying? But like you also have good role players around him. Like Vassell is not like a superstar, but he can score. He's he's a good role player. He plays hard. Castle is not there yet, but he's on the rise, right? So eventually he's going to be there, but he's on the rise. And De'Aaron Fox, like, he's good. He's good, but he's not great. You know what I mean? He's not a great player. So
he's kind of taking a step back. He's kind of taking a step back, which is fine. He understands his role. That's the point that, Kevin Durant and, Sengun got to understand. They got to figure out their roles. What's going to work for this team?
Yeah.
to be honest, it just looks like they're really back and forth. They don't know where to go or what to do, or, and you have to deal with the coaching and the management. So a big part of that is the management, like you said.
Yeah. So do you have any like hot takes or predictions that you would say in these playoffs? Do you think one team's going to get upset, or do you think, anything crazy is going to happen? Do you have any initial?
I think the Magic can make a run.
The Magic?
I think the Magic have shown they can make a run. I believe they can beat the Pistons coming up in the next couple days. I don't know if they play tomorrow or it's I believe it's tomorrow or it's the next day. But I believe they can make a run. They've shown that they have a solid squad, that it doesn't fold under the pressure, that they can even meet the pressure. They want the pressure because everyone's kind of overlooked them. I thought Detroit was just going to blow past them, no problem, just move on, right on, go to the next series, and then then they might have to get ready for that. But the Magic have shown that they built something that is actually worth watching.
Right. Yeah, no, they've been a playoff team for a couple of years. They've had the pieces around them. They have the athleticism, the defensive prowess. Like they can definitely make some noise in the East. So that's a good pick for sure.
Yeah.
For me, everyone looks at Oklahoma City as like this unbeatable team, but I think the Spurs can get them. Like I think like in the regular season, they beat Oklahoma City like 3 times. You know what I'm saying? Because they can't do anything with Wembanyama. He's too great. He blocks shots. He's basically everywhere on defense. Yeah. And their guards are not scared. Castle's attacking, De'Aaron Fox is attacking. They can hit perimeter shots. I think that if the Spurs do meet Oklahoma City, I think that they could. I think they could definitely get them, but it would be a long series, though. It would definitely be like a 6 or 7 game series.
And Wembanyama would have to be 100%.
Right.
He's gonna have to be 100%. Like go to bed at 8 o'clock. Get up early, get his shots going. It would be a long series, but yeah, they were tearing them up the whole season. Wembanyama and them. Wembanyama had their number. He was just like, "Hey, I'm gonna show you that this Chet dude is garbage."
Right.
That's basically his comparison in the league is Chet.
Yeah.
He's far beyond Chet.
Yeah, he's better for sure. Yeah. Much better.
I do like Chet, but
yeah,
Wembanyama's a difference in a different category for sure.
For sure. And I will say this, and I hate to say it, man. If the Rockets win, because the Rockets' next game is Friday and they're home.
Yeah.
If they win game 6 and tie it 3-3. I think the Lakers might go out in game 7, man. Dude, it's tough, man. I'm watching these games, Najee. I'm watching these games, and JJ Redick, we talk about management, we talk about coaching. This dude needs to go back to podcasting because
he's horrible.
He's horrible, man. He's not good with rotations.
Yeah.
He sits there and he doesn't express himself enough. Like it doesn't seem like he has the locker room.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't seem like he's calling plays and they're not running the plays.
They don't respect him.
They're doubling Segun at half court. How does that make any sense in any universe? Like this dude, like he's getting out coached right now.
Yeah.
So he's getting out coached. I'm not gonna lie, like LeBron, there's times where he looks tired because the Rockets have good defenders. I mean, Amin Thompson is one of the best athletes in the league. He's 6'9". They're throwing him at LeBron. They're also throwing Jabari Smith. He's about 6'9", 6'10". They're throwing him at him. They're throwing a bunch of 6'8", 6'9" defenders at him.
Yeah.
And there's only so much LeBron can do. Like LeBron still got his 25, right? But Luke Kennard, you give us 1 point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Austin Reeves is just getting back from an injury. So it's like, and he's in the playoff fire. So you can't really he's not ready.
Yeah. Reeves is not 100% either.
No.
So maybe Reeves at 100%. They can kind of blow past them. They need to get them before, KD comes back. They got they got to tear him up. Yeah. I'm not sure when Luka's coming back, but that would be nice too. He's out for the season.
They're saying he's out all the way through they don't even know if he's going to come back against OKC in the second round if they get past it.
Yeah, it's going to be very tough. It's going to be tough. But, I got to see the bright side with the Lakers.
Yeah, you're right.
I got to see the bright side with LeBron. He makes it happen every year. So, to me, this is it. I don't want to say this is it for LeBron. I think he has one more. But this is going to be, not the closest he'll get, but this might be it. So we want to make sure that they're putting all, JJ Redick is running the right plays and making sure that these guys, Marcus Smart turnover, you ain't lying.
Dude, that's another guy who's just selling.
Oh my goodness,
you're selling, man. I don't get it.
But Marcus Smart's been selling. Like I see him. I think he fits well with the Lakers.
Yeah.
But I also can see the turnovers just killing momentum constantly over and over. And I'm just like, dude, just hold the ball. Go give it to someone else. Like, just go ahead and shoot, because he hasn't been shooting horribly either. He's been solid.
Yeah.
So to me, I just think he just needs to cut down on those turnovers, just like you said. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's tough because he had to take take over ball handling responsibilities because AR was out, because Luka was out. So it was really on Marcus Smart to handle the ball. Same with Luke Kennard. They're not going to put Bronny James in there, even though Bronny James did get in the game a few times and he's looked solid.
He looks okay. He's definitely gotten better since he's been in the league. He's definitely gotten better. I mean, I don't expect anything different. I don't expect anything out of Bronny. Because to me, it was almost like a give me pick. Like, hey, we got LeBron. All right, you can come over, to the Lakers. But he's shown the G League. Out of college, I didn't think he was anything. I was like, hey, if you weren't LeBron James' son, 100%, you wouldn't be in the NBA right now.
Right.
But he's showing that he can compete. I mean, in the G League, I've seen him drop 30 plus on these guys, and then he gets to the NBA. He knows his role, but I want to see what his role will be when LeBron leaves, if they're going to keep him or if they're got to let him go. I want to see what they do with him, because I see something in Bronny, like the development that he has had. He's a far better player than when he started.
Yeah, I mean, he got in the game the other night and he gave them about 5 points. They could have used 5 points last night. You know what I'm saying? Luke Kennard gave you 1. So it's like, he's coming into the game. He's handling the ball. He's operating in the pick and roll. Like, he's creating for others. He's attacking. He's extremely athletic. Like, as long as he's able to defend, right? If he can defend, because he's about 6'2", you know what I'm saying? Like,
he's small.
Yeah, but he's stout. Like, he's about 215. He's got muscle. So like, if he can defend and give some teams some points, like, people are trying to stop comparing him to his dad. Like,
nowhere close.
Like come on. Like, any contending team will take a player that can average 10 points, because those 10 points could win you the game.
Yeah,
realistically, So like, there's a place for Bronny in the league for sure. He just has to keep working hard and going. But yeah, man, this was a great discussion.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's always good talking to my fam, my brother.
Absolutely.
Man, love you to death, bro. I'm glad we were able to do this. Look forward to the many more to come. As these playoffs keep going, man, it's just gonna get better and better. So I can't wait to keep talking about it with you. Absolutely. And I appreciate you having me on, brother.
Yeah, and thank you for everyone who tuned in. We're gonna keep coming with these sports topics. We're excited to be on here, and keep it coming, man. Tune in.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right.
Peace.
He said Marcus Smart turnover in the chat.
Hey, that was good. That was good.
We still live?
Hey, I like that. No. Oh.